Hello everyone, welcome to the Cannabis Correction blog for September 9th, 2011. Yes, even though I'm uploading this most likely in most time zones over the world on the 10th, this is really a blog meant for the 9th. You see, the 9th for me was very busy, and it's been getting progressively busier. Closer and closer I move to my new apartment. I'm getting things boxed up. You can't see behind me right now because everything's dark and the lights are off, but they're not off, but for now they're off, so you can't see tons of boxes stacked up behind me. But moving's going well. Everything is good in that aspect. Just a reminder that if I am unable to upload regular blogs such as this with my good headset quality microphone that makes my voice sound so good, I'm very happy with the quality of it, then I'm going to do a Android-based blog off of my phone, and I will consider going in to do interviews with people who have had involvement with the plant and also have something to say about it on a first-hand basis, because what I give you is research on my own personal accord, yes, but it's about as good as I can give you, and I can give you tips and things that I've picked up learning and observation, but that's it, so something to consider. Anyway, for the ninth blog, there will be a blog for the 10th separately later today. I'm going to be talking about more of the decorticator that I mentioned back in the blog where I discussed why cannabis is illegal in the first place. It's because William Randolph Hearst didn't want to change his paper mills that ran wood because it was much cheaper. He would lose profits on it. But I finally found, I dug up the clip, and if you do recall, I said that the Hemp for Victory film was it was attempted to be destroyed. Obviously, it's not fully destroyed because I found this clip, but it was attempted to be destroyed by our government in order to change the minds, very much like 1984 George Orwellian brainwashing, where they delete pieces of history from the history books. If anybody's read that, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's very much like that kind of data destruction. And our government, the US government, this is not a conspiracy, okay? I'm tired of the government trying to play us off, those who think, those who question, as conspiracy theorists. Really, I'm a concerned American who is not happy with the way my future is looking environmentally, politically, economically, and growth-wise not good. I'm very concerned, and this is my future here. This is my generation, deoxyribonucleic generation Z. We are the future, and I don't like the way this is headed. So I don't want to be called a conspiracy theorist just because I question. I don't think that's correct. But if you do your research, you find that the government does a whole heck of a lot to cover shit up. I mean, just in these past blogs, I've revealed a lot to you just in the main factor of their morals. You know, their whole campaign against cannabis was always that, you know, the DARE program, if anybody had that in elementary school. I personally was brainwashed to that mindset and held on to that for quite a while. I believe it was up until sophomore year of high school that that mindset, even that myth about cannabis containing more tar than cigarettes, was still implanted in my mind. It's not for your well-being. It's not to keep you in safe grounds. It's not to keep you away from harder drugs. As I mentioned earlier, this whole illegality situation is probably forcing more people to turn to harder drugs because it's easier to obtain, it's easier to get rid of in your system, and you know what? Some people just want to get high. Not everybody is looking to elevate the mind in the way that cannabis can. And, you know, not all cannabis, I am saying, can elevate the mind. There are so many strains, which we will be getting to, but each strain does their own individual wonderment, whether it's body pain relief, physically, mental stress relief, whether it's something for appetite. I mean, it has so many versatile functions. But again, I'm ending up getting on a tangent, but what I really wanted to discuss, the decorticator machine. Check the clip in the show notes below. I'm going to call it show notes from now on, because that's what it is. This is a show. And you can see that little Hemp for Victory film clip where it shows the decorticator. And that was the thing. That was the main step, the main blockage that they had to get over in technology. But of course, as humans as we do, we keep on testing and we find solutions. We found a solution how to decorticate, pretty much, and separate the fibers of this stocky hemp material plant. Now, once these fibers are separated, it is so versatile. I mean, not only was it going to rival Hearst's newspaper industry, and since he controlled the printing presses, obviously he controlled the media. It's very much like in today's society, whoever controls the televisions controls the mass majority of media consumption. While now, thankfully, the playing field is leveled somewhat with the internet, and people have somewhat of an option to get independent opinions, such as mine, and more fact-based ideas by doing their own independent research themselves. Back then, though, the internet didn't exist, and it was only the printing press, so Hearst mudslang away at cannabis along with Anslinger. And, it wouldn't just replace paper. It wouldn't just save trees. It's such a crazy thing to think about how many mores and amazingly crazed philosophies we've come to adopt in this society. I mean, I can understand maybe why hippies get a bad name. Some people who experience them, the hardcore hippies who, will bum off you for the rest of your life and lay on your couch and say something will change or whatnot. I can understand that. But the problem when you ever get into a cannabis discussion with someone is always, oh, it's just stupid stoner talk. It's just, it's silly nonsense. And that's what most people like to believe, because that's the kind of idea, that's the dumbing down that this government has conducted on its society. It's made its society sheep's, because sheep are a lot easier to herd than buffalo. Yes, that's the imagery I want to use here, buffalo. You could be free-roaming buffalo, but you choose to be sheep when you believe the falsehoods that the government has presented about cannabis. Now, I can't even get into a serious discussion with people about it because they give me the rolled eye look. They say, oh, you're just someone who wants to get high. But I'm not. I'm somebody who's looking to save our environment. Okay? Listen, corporations. I know you love making your money, you greedy sons of bitches, but you're not going to have any platform to do it when you fuck us over completely environmentally, which we're headed on that slope. I mean, we are headed there. The plastic beach out in the ocean is a reality. Pipelines have been bursting with oil because poor maintenance, cheap costs have been made here and there to make sure your poor profits were held restrained and in your pockets and friends' bank accounts, and now it's led to this. And I'm fucking tired of it. I'm not going to take it anymore. And I know that there's a better solution. And it's cannabis. It's hemp. It's using the fibers to replace paper. It's using it to provide oxygen. Because remember, guys, plants make oxygen. I never understood that. That was another thought that I never understood. Why people bash tree huggers. Why people bash hippies in that element. Like, hey, more off. And when I say more off, I'm not talking more on. I'm saying your mind's more off. Okay, more off than on. It's completely shut off if you are neglecting to think about the whole ecosystem you live in. Hey, derpfish, you cut down all your oxygen, all the people in here are going to make it a suffocation zone. Won't that be fun? Now, okay, that's a little bit of some outrageous conjecture there, but if we keep on destroying forests like we do, where's the breaking point? I think it's nearing. I mean, it was pretty disturbing this entire summer. On my Android phone, I have the weather application that shows you when there's weather alerts, something to be very disturbed about and look out for, whether it's flooding or whatnot. And all summer long in New Jersey, it was always a weather warning for pollution. Always a weather warning for pollution. Now, here's something else that I heard recently, and I hate to be mixing in so many tangents, and I'm running out of time. But on a podcast I was listening to called BB Salon, there was an episode talking about cleaning radiation from Japan with hemp. It's interesting, and it's definitely worth a listen. I do not have time to fully summarize it all, and that's why I include the links below. So after you check out that short clip with the decorticator to see how much the hemp stalks, I apologize for being so tired. It's 2:18 a.m. while I'm recording. But to see how those hemp fiber stalks can be so well used in fibers, in so many materials, and all the chemicals will be replacing, all the caustic chemicals that do not degrade and when go in the environment, fuck it over. All the styrofoam, all the containers that we could replace. It's crazy. And to think also that it could reheal the environment in the oxygen levels. It could reheal radiation levels by absorbing it. Now, there was a part of that podcast I will admit that I did not exactly like, and that's a part where they talk about using the cannabis hemp that absorbed the radiation and using that for fuel, using that for a fuel source. And I'm like this about that because from my understanding, okay, I'm not a full scientist yet. I'm only in community college at this point, and I've only taken like advanced placement chem and sucked at it, so I don't know. But the way my understanding is, radiation doesn't disappear. So if it's in the hemp stalks, if it's trapped in there, why would you be burning it to release it again? I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the science of it. If anybody has a better understanding over it than me, please fill me in. This is all about learning. I learn from you guys as you learn from me. If you have useful information, provide links. But I don't know if they really ought to use hemp filled with radiation for fuel. I think that you should take those stalks, find a way to bury them somehow so they can meld with the earth and recycle naturally through the ground and not affect us. Throw them in a deep, deep chasm, an abandoned mine shaft perhaps, and fill the damn thing with lead or something so it can decompose. But, go with that victory first. Don't be looking for a fuel source because guess what, guys? I know. Another fucking thing. I gotta stop. I'm on it. That's what happens when I get tired. I just keep rambling and rambling and rambling. But it's interesting, right? Hopefully. You can use cannabis hemp fiber as the stalks. You can use it as a biofuel. That's right. So oil, the peak oil situation that we're probably reaching, not probably, but are critically reaching, yeah, we could actually replace that with hemp fuel. And I'm not bullshitting you. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about the medicinal properties, or rather later today, because I said it is the 10th after all, and later when I just take a nap, wake up again, and have the time to record, I will record some of the medicinal effects of cannabis and something shocking that I really think ought to be seen by everyone who has had any involvement with cancer, whether it's knowing someone who has cancer, whether it's been participating in fundraising for cancer. It's a blog you need to see. It's disturbing, it's heart-wrenching, and it really infuriates me. The facts that I'm about to present to you tomorrow really, or later today I mean, really infuriate me. So I hope this was a very well informative blog. I've hit about 13-minute mark here, and again I'm rambling. So check out the Decorticator. It was a machine. This was the machine that put William Randolph Hearst in that position to go against cannabis, because he could not have hemp fibers replace, nor could DuPont, nor could Monsanto, nor could anybody. Something about Monsanto, although they are a manufacturing, a patenting plant company, patenting life company, the way that they really were turned away from cannabis was not so much about it being a global foodstuff, which that's another blog for another day, but by the fact that it could actually kill weeds. You see, hemp being a weed itself doesn't have many natural enemies, doesn't have many insect enemies. I haven't found any yet. Again, if any botanists are out there and know better, who have grown cannabis and who could tell me, please comment below. But from what I've understood, this could be used as a weed killer, which is actually vital because we've created super weeds with Monsanto's chemicals because they've built up resistance over time. And since these hemp stalks grow up to 12 feet, they block out the sun, they dwarf the weeds that are killing our crops, and they kill them naturally. So let that stir on your mind a little bit. Enjoy the links, enjoy the BB's Bungalow podcast. I'm Dio Gen Z, and I'll see you later today.